So another founding core, and today we will discuss there are two ways to approach a problem, an adversary that really tries to demolish you.
Sla hier af naar links.
One is to approach it like a lion, face it full on and use your aggression to subdue your opponent.
Volg de weg 2 kilometer.
The other one is more like a constrictor does. So a boa constrictor, or for example an anaconda. So they do attack it face on, oftentimes in the face or something else. That this allows the target to bite them. Often they target the nose, and then they strangle the target in a way that works like this. So they put their muscles around it, and every time their prey is inhaling, they just give a little bit of resistance, but not too much. But once it exhales, it squeezes. It squeezes. So the next time it tries to inhale, the room of inhalation is limited, and thereby constricting the amount of air that will result into the prey. So oftentimes they say they squeeze so hard that they stop the heart, but they measure the heartbeats, but they constrict oftentimes the inhalation of air. And by constricting that, they put a lot of stress on the heart. And why is that? Because if you have less oxygen in your blood, here, for example, half of it, you need to pump double the amount of blood around to still keep it oxygenated, the same as it was when you had double the amount of oxygen per liter in your blood. So that's the thing what is happening. And oftentimes in business as well, if you face a real adversary like I mentioned that tries to demolish you, if you are able to squeeze it every time it takes a little bit of rest, you will diminish the amount of movement that it can make to inhale again. So you cut off the sources of its strength and power, also like they did in the old days when they had a city and they had a city on the siege. Of course they could face on attack the city and try to take the city, but oftentimes they just constrict the supplies. If you control the supplies, you will eventually also control the city, because the city will be opened, because no one can sustain that. That's the same what the constrictor does. It diminishes the amount of supply, in this case air supply, and that will put a lot of stress on the city or the prey, and thereby they will recapitulate, or they will just stop. They will be demolished in a way that's not face on completely. Also a little bit less risk. It's more of a patience game, but it goes quite rapidly. If you see a constrictor working, it's not as fast as a lion, because they will go for the bleeder. They will hit it somewhere where it bleeds out, but also the amount of damage that can be done to a constricting snake is often not that much. So they have their own benefits and they work